Hi everybody, thank you so much for tuning in today. Welcome to my channel. I'm in the woods and I love nature. So I just wanted to record this today. Happy Monday for those who are waking up to a beautiful Monday. I'm wishing you a very good week. So in this conversation today, I'm talking about soul ties. I started that conversation and I want to continue that conversation because I feel so strongly about it. It's not because I feel qualified, but because I feel that I need to validate someone's experience. I think having a conversation is just a beginning. If I can validate your experience, perhaps you can look deeper into yourself and give you permission to say, you're not alone and you're not so isolated. So I want to begin by reading you a verse in the book of John 14:27. Peace I leave to you, my peace I give to you. I do not give to you as the world gives you. Your heart must not be troubled or fearful. So if you're in a relationship, whether it's romantic, friendships, or genetic relationship that is giving you some fear or that is troubling your heart, I wanted to say it's not the will of God. Why? Because Jesus left his disciples with those words, and we are his disciples as well. So God left you peace, not to be troubled or not to be fearful. So it's not the will of God, number one, for you to be troubled, and it's not the will of God for you to live in fear. Also, in the book of Proverbs 10:22, the blessings of the Lord enriches and adds no sorrow to it. So if at any point in your life you are tied to someone who gives you a lot of sorrow and does not enrich your life, then it's not the will of God. How do we find ourselves in these relationships that are so toxic? I think number one is because we accept the love that we think we deserve. So it comes to how we view ourselves. So, how do you view yourself if you're in a relationship that is less than ideal? Your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your husband, your wife. How come you've accepted and you've settled that? Is it because you feel that you deserve that relationship and you feel like nobody's gonna love me the way this person loves me? Nobody cares for me. Nobody understands me like this person who understands me like this. You're settling. Why do I say that? Because I've been there. And if you don't open your eyes to see that there is so many other varied and multitudes of people that can enrich your life, then you're going to be stuck in that one relationship. And I don't blame you. Perhaps you didn't get any relationship advice from your parents. Because how many of us, women, for instance, got like dating relationship or even got like relationship advice from our parents? I think in my generation, we only got one advice from our parents. Do not get pregnant, and then the rest of the relationship you are supposed to figure it out for yourself. So how come the most important relationship in our lives, our parents, do not inform us how to navigate the relationships of this life? So we are left out there not knowing how to protect ourselves, not knowing to look for signs, red flags, not knowing how to form relationships that are healthy. So I'm having this conversation to validate your experience, not because I am qualified, but just a beginning to say, hey, these things are there. You're not isolated. So if, number one, you are in a relationship and you're accepting because you believe that you deserve it, it is common for people to accept and to settle the love that they think they deserve. So I would say for that, you need to start looking inside you and build your self-esteem build how you view yourself. And if you don't know, if no one has ever validated you, no one has ever affirmed you, I'd say go to God. To be honest with you, I learned unconditional love from the Bible. Had I not, thinking about it, if it wasn't because of my faith, seriously, if it wasn't because of my faith and believing that there is a God who loves me, then I'm not saying I wasn't loved, but experiencing it the way I understood it. If I didn't have my faith in my younger years, then I think I would have ended up in really bad, terrible relationships. So I would invite you to look into how God looks at you. God says you are His best or her best. God says you're the apple. You're the apple of God's eye. God says that my blessings enriches you. God says that I love you no matter what. God says that you are my favorite child. So God loves you and wants you to have really positive relationship, and she or he, however you want to relate to God, is ready to bless you. But you need to get into that space of receiving a healthy relationship. So the number two reason I think people settle for terrible relationship is because people accept the love that they are familiar with. People accept the love that they know. So for instance, if your father, as a woman, if your dad was an emotionally unavailable person to your life, you will accept a man who is emotionally unavailable for you. Guess why? Because for almost 20 years, you've learned to accept that, and that is all you know. If your mother, for instance, was quarrelsome, dramatic, as a man, you will settle for a woman who is quarrelsome and dramatic, because that's what you know. So this is our homework. We have the responsibility of exposing ourselves to diverse relationships. I would say connect with people who don't look like you, connect with people who speak different languages than you, and let them go visit their parents, go to their homes and see how they speak to themselves, how they communicate, how they love, and see whether your love is normal. I remember hearing this story by Amy Kosgei. She said when she was young, she thought that fathers are supposed to have special needs because her father is physically disabled, has some physical limitations. So when she grew up and went to school, she was surprised to see that there are some fathers who don't have special needs. She was exposed to disability, and that's what her normal was. So the same for our love. If we're exposed to certain kind of love and we don't know any different, we will accept that which we only know. So my homework to you today is expose yourself to different kind of relationships and see, is my relationship normal? It's not normal if you're hurting all the time. It's not normal if somebody is emotionally unavailable to you. It's not normal if somebody is using violence. It's not normal if someone hasn't told you that they love you. And it's not normal if you're crying all the time. So those two things, we accept the love that we think we deserve, and we accept the love that is familiar and that we know. So I just wanted us to have this conversation so that I can validate your experience and open up a conversation so that we can have it, because we really, in our culture, we don't talk about relationships as much. We don't even create spaces to have relationships openly and talk about them openly. If I'm having a bad relationship, I don't talk about it because the culture doesn't allow that. It's a taboo. So let's talk about it so that we can stay alive and we can thrive and we can continue doing the will of God. So thank you so much for tuning in and for coming along. We'll talk again soon. God bless you. Have a fabulous week.